Introduce our other guest there, Congressman. We see you now. Thanks for being with us. Let's just begin with your reaction to what we've heard from President Trump so far and reflect on Democrats' strategy in this moment.
Look, Donald Trump gave a very dark speech about people being upset, America being a nation in decline. And for a lot of Americans, they do feel angry and left out. The reality is, though, Donald Trump is offering 19th and 20th century solutions. He's talking about manifest destiny of imperial expansion. He's talking about drilling oil and gas. And I think China is probably laughing at that, saying, where is the vision for the 21st century future building of America? What are the solutions in the future? And that's where the Democrats have an opportunity to say, yes, we understand there has been stagnation and decline, but Trump wants to sell America nostalgia. That's not going to win the 21st century.
And Congressman Khanna, before we talk about more of the issues, I want to ask you, because you represent the Bay Area, which is the backyard of Silicon Valley. When you see the heads of Meta, Apple, Google, Amazon, Elon Musk, of course, having really front row seats to this inauguration, in many ways trying to get in and stay in Donald Trump's good graces, how does that strike you?
Well, Musk is a separate case because he was all in on the campaign. But for many of the others, Tim Cook, Sundar Pichai, they did the first thing when Trump won the first time Tim Cook was in the Oval Office. I think the reality is they're looking out for their own business interests, in Bill Gates' case for his own philanthropic interests, and they do this whoever's in power. And so the moral leadership is going to have to come from the grassroots of the country, from the Democratic Party. I don't think we can be looking to business leaders to be doing anything other than maximizing their own shareholder profits.
That level of influence these leaders seem to now have, though, with this incoming president. I mean, they were sitting in front of his cabinet nominees at that inauguration ceremony. What does that say to you? Does it worry you? And is this what President Biden was talking about in his farewell address when he warned about this rising tech oligarchy?
Well, it does concern me in terms of the level of wealthy individuals, both who are in the cabinet, who have supported the inauguration. I mean, the irony of it is because of the cold, the hardworking, working class Americans who elected Donald Trump weren't able to watch the inauguration. But these billionaires and multimillionaires who supported his inauguration were. But I think over time, the American people are very smart, and they're going to see that his policies are going to be tax breaks for these very wealthy folks. They're going to be tax breaks for corporations that are offshoring jobs because he wants the corporate tax rate lower in places like Mexico than the United States. That his policies of sort of manifest destiny aren't going to do anything to build new factories and new industries in communities that have been hollowed out. And ultimately, he's selling Americans nostalgia. And I understand why people are upset. They see a stagnant country. We have to sell them the future, that we really have a way of building and transforming this country.
On the issue of immigration, this is an issue on which Democrats and Republicans agree. Our current immigration system is broken. Democrats worked with Republicans in the last administration on that Lankford bill before Donald Trump effectively sought to unwind it. To what degree will Democrats work with Republicans in the second Trump administration on getting some meaningful action on immigration?
Let me just point out one irony of the inauguration. A lot of the folks on that stage were immigrants who built the tech companies and built the industries in the United States. So for Donald Trump to do a broadside against immigration without acknowledging that, I think was missing an important truth. Of course, the Democrats will work on a fair immigration process that secures the border, that says people must enter this country legally, that says if you're a convicted violent felon, you should be deported. But the idea what the Laken Riley Act did was saying that if someone just arrests you or if a sheriff has a suspicion of you, that without due process, we're going to kick you out is so un-American. I mean, we even gave the Nazis trials. We believe in the due process of the law.
Outside of immigration, Congressman, where else do you think Democrats have room to move forward and work with this incoming administration?
I think we have to hold Donald Trump accountable to what he said on the campaign. If he wants to help working class Americans, then is he willing to raise the minimum wage? That's something that 70% of Americans believe, that Americans deserve a raise. Is he willing to cap the interest rates that people are paying on their credit cards? Because he had said that he was willing to do that. Is he willing to actually invest in steel and aluminum and making pill manufacturing in the United States? Or is it just all rhetoric? And so we will work on issues that actually help the working and middle class.
Congressman Ro Khanna, Democrat from California, thanks again for being with us.
Thank you.